Good morning. Thoughts from the car today. It's raining and gross out and dark, and I don't want to be here. um, Today, I want to talk about wants versus needs. This topic has come up a lot in my life, and I feel like I'm authority on wants versus needs in many ways. And so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the difference between wants and needs and how to make better choices. Wants are the things that are non-essentials. They're the things that we can live without, but we want them, like they're a desire. Whereas needs are essential elements that are vital to our survival, our safety, living in general. And we get these two things mixed up all the time. So how do we figure out the difference? I think when we are looking at material things or opportunities, we can look at first and ask ourselves, what are the long-term benefits of this thing or this opportunity? Does it align with my goals and my values? That is the first question I always ask myself whenever I am going to make a purchase of something that is of significance, or make a decision on some kind of opportunity that requires not just monetary value from me, but also my time and my energy. First thing you do is consider the long-term benefits and ask, does this align with my goals and my values? Something else that we can do to distinguish the difference between wants versus our needs is we can prioritize our essentials. So that means we ask ourselves, this thing or this opportunity, whatever it is this necessary to survive for my safety and my well-being? And that's how we prioritize things. So I've kind of shared with you guys, I'm going through some life transitions. And one of the transitions is I'm going to be living in an RV full time. And so I'm having to buy like all the things for my RV. And I have to prioritize the difference between wants and needs. I want it to look very pretty. I want it to be decorated. But what I need is, like cookware and plates and, pillows and things like that to sleep on, blankets, silverware, like things like that I really need. So I've had to prioritize the actual needs, the things I need for my safety, things that are necessary to live and for my overall well-being while I live in this RV. So I've really had to divide, because I have a budget, and divide my budget between my wants and my needs. And it kind of sucks sometimes because there's some really cute things out there that I really want and things that I'd really like to have. But eventually it'll happen. And I think something that's really helping me is evaluating the emotional connection. So am I driven to get the thing or do the thing because of peer pressure or because society tells me to do it, or is there some kind of pressure that's making me feel like I have to make a decision, or that I really need this certain thing? Is this some kind of marketing or advertising kind of thing? Am I feeling fear? Am I feeling envy? Am I feeling excitement? Those kind of things usually tell me that I can delay that thing, that it's not an actual need. It's more of a want. And then delaying our gratification. So if the thing that we want or the thing that we want to do, if we can wait, if there will be another opportunity, if it's something that we, can wait to buy, like I absolutely don't need these adorable blue pillows that are going to look great with my new couch that's in my RV, then I know it's a want. I don't absolutely need those cute little blue pillows. That's not a need. I absolutely can get them another time without an issue. So it's measuring, evaluating, can I delay the gratification for this thing? Is the opportunity going to come again? A workshop I want to do. They do it often. It's not just now. I can do it again in like 6 months, so I can wait. I don't have to feel the pressure to go do it right now. It's measuring that. Is there emotional connection there? And can I delay the gratification for this thing or this opportunity? And I think something else that really helps us to know the difference between a want and a need is seeking perspective. So, sometimes talking it out with our friends or a trusted person, saying, hey, I really want to do this thing, but I'm feeling pressure about it. Sometimes just speaking that out loud to someone else and seeing their reaction, someone we trust, or them asking us certain questions, can really help us make that decision, whether or not this is a want or this is a need. So why do we get these things so easily mixed up? Because wants and needs, right? It seems like it should be so easy to figure out the difference between our wants and our needs. But the truth is that sometimes it can be very difficult in certain areas of life and certain things that we desire for our life. And I think we get mixed up for a few reasons. And the first thing is the societal pressures. In society, we have there's this like standard of living that society tells us that we should be doing, that we should be living, that we should be experiencing. And if we are not doing that, then we are failing. Then we are not really living. There's this mentality that in order to be happy and fulfilled, you have to have these certain things, and you have to be doing these certain things and experiencing these certain things. So there's a lot of societal pressure. And then I think another big one is advertising and marketing. Advertising and marketing is designed to make you feel pressure and make you feel like you're missing out and make you feel like certain things are essential to your life and to your well-being. So we have to look at, are we believing the hype of marketing and advertising? If we're able to distinguish between, yes, this is something that would actually be beneficial to my life, or is this something that I just really want, and advertising is telling me that I should really want this thing and I need this thing. And then I think also we have to evaluate, again, emotional connection. So when we're looking at opportunity or we're looking at something we're going to purchase, we have to see, is there some kind of emotional connection? Am I feeling envy, fear? Am I feeling excitement? Am I feeling like this, this is like, I'm going to miss out on something, if we feel that pressure, then oftentimes it's not really a need. It's often a want. When things are tied emotionally to our emotions, or we feel that pressure, then it's usually a want and not a need. That's an easy way to kind of distinguish. And then I think too, we get mixed up because of FOMO, the fear of missing out, is we don't want to miss out on opportunities. And that's what design, advertising and marketing is designed to do, is to make us feel like we're missing out. And a lot of times the advertising and marketing isn't even like ads and things like that. It's our friends and our family and the people that we're around. They advertise to us like, hey, I just bought this amazing thing. In fact, yesterday, it's funny. I was having a conversation. I was being interviewed for a podcast, and one of the hosts of the podcast, we were talking about me moving into an RV full time. And she's like, I want to move into an RV now. Like, I totally want to do this. And it was funny because I wasn't like trying to sell her on it at all. I was just talking about, the things I was looking forward to and, a lot of the challenges and everything. And I had her completely convinced that this is what she needs to do with her life, which I wasn't even trying to do, but it's that fear of missing out of like, oh, I want to do this thing because this person is doing this. We want to do those things. And so again, not a need, a desire, a want to do those things, but not necessarily a need in this case. But it's funny how, we advertise to each other with the clothes that we wear, or makeup, or things that we do, things that we buy, opportunities that we partake in. We absolutely advertise to one another, and we don't even, we're not trying to do it, but it happens. And that's where like that FOMO kind of comes in. And then I think too, we get mixed up because we are a society that really enjoys short-term gratification. So we want it now. We don't like to delay our gratification. We want things now. We don't like to wait. And we want that immediate satisfaction. Even if that means in the long term, we're not really going to be happy with our decision or our choice, we still want that thing. We want that immediate gratification, and we have a hard time with patience and delaying our gratification. So how do we recognize when we're getting mixed up? How do we recognize when, maybe we are mixed up and we're thinking that things are wants and our needs instead of wants? So here are some factors to help us distinguish and think through whether or not this is like a good choice, or if this is something I can delay or not. I think the first thing is we have to pay attention to our emotions. Again, are we feeling envy? Are we feeling fear? Are we feeling excitement? Those are all indicators of wants. So if we're feeling, all these feelings tied to this thing or this opportunity, then we're able to better distinguish and manage our emotions to delay our gratification for that particular thing. So we have to pay attention to our emotions first. We have to be aware. This is about awareness, which kind of goes into mindfulness, is another thing that we can do. Is when we're mindful, we're present. So we're not thinking about the future. We're not thinking about, the past. We're not thinking about how the implications of the choice that we're making other than the present moment, and enjoying in gratitude our present moment. When we're in gratitude, when we're being mindful and we're in the present moment of our life, we are less likely to have FOMO. We're less likely to feel that envy and that emotional connection to things because we're focusing on now. We're focusing on what we're living right in this moment. I think too, something that really helps us to be able to distinguish and kind of break free from always giving into wants instead of just focusing on our needs is questioning and challenging societal expectations. So I think a good question to ask ourselves is, am I being influenced, or is this thing or whatever it is I'm doing, is this necessary? So if we are able to question society, because society often tells us that we need something or we need to do something, if we question that, then that puts us in a really good place to be able to distinguish between needs and wants. And this is kind of like with me living in the RV full time, is this a necessary thing that I need, or am I being influenced by all the amazing Pinterest pages about renovating your RV, and on living the RV life full time? Like, is this actually necessary? Is this something I really truly need? Or am I being influenced by influencers writing blog posts, talking about living, the RV life full time and renovating their RV? So, it's like, it's evaluating and pushing back on what that societal standard is, for whatever thing we're talking about. And I think too, again, we have to think about long-term benefits and short-term benefits, and also seek support, like talk to someone, seek other perspectives about the situation that we're thinking about partaking in, or buying, whatever it is. And so then how do we make better choices? We make better choices by, one, knowing our values. So when we know our values, and we're better able to make more guided choices, and we're better able to make choices that align with our values and align with our goals for what we have for our future. So we have to know our values first. And then the second thing is we have to set goals. We absolutely have to set goals for ourselves. When we set goals for ourselves, this helps us also guide our choices. That helps us know, we can ask ourselves then, does this align with my goals? Is this something that's going to put me for my goals, or is it going to work against my goals? And then we need to consider the consequences. We have to consider the consequences of our actions. So what are the benefits and what are the drawbacks of this decision that I'm going to make? Is this something that is going to impact me long term? What are the long-term implications of this? So often we only think about the short-term implications. What are the long-term implications of this? Is this, consequences, remember, can be good and bad. They're not always a bad thing. They're just, the cause and effect of a choice. And so we ask ourselves, what is the long-term impact of this choice that I'm going to make? Is it something that I'm going to be happy with in 6 months from now, or, a year from now, or 2 years from now, or 5 years from now? What is the long-term impact on this? And I think something that really helps me when I'm making decisions, specifically like when I was looking for the RV, is I had to seek information. I wanted to make sure I had researched, I had really good information, that I was informed, an informed purchaser, knew things to look for, pitfalls, drawbacks, problems. And there's still so many other things I still don't know, or I'm still not aware of, because I'm learning as I go. But we do need to seek information first before we make a decision, because sometimes we might feel like we have to make a decision very quickly about a situation or a purchase that we're going to make. But really it's just that we need the information, and if we have the information, we can make a better informed decision. This is a sales tactic. A lot of times is they'll give you the information, but they'll make you feel like they've given you all the information, but there's so much more out there. So we have to make sure that we're doing our due diligence and doing our own research, because they're going to try to create an urgency when you're trying to buy something, or if there's an opportunity that is available to you. There's going to be an urgency that the person is trying to sell you on. So make sure you have all the information so that you can see if you can delay that gratification. That course is going to come up in 6 months, but maybe they didn't tell you that. They told you that this is, the deal, and you need to do it right now. And we have to learn from our mistakes. So, I purchased the RV. I've already made some mistakes. I've already noticed some things. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm learning as I go here. And that's okay. We can learn from our mistakes, and we can stay present in the moment and move forward and not lament our mistakes and see them as opportunities to grow. And we have to also remember that as we're making better choices in our life, as we're, trying to distinguish between needs and wants, it's a process. It is not a one-time thing. It is absolutely a process. And here's the thing, is that there are benefits. When we're making better choices, there are benefits for it. We will have better overall improved well-being, because we won't be so stressed all the time about making choices or making the wrong choices. And we'll see a pattern of when we delay our gratification and we're making better choices and we're doing our needs rather than focusing on our wants, our overall well-being is going to improve. Our relationships are going to improve, because when we're making better choices about our finances and we're making better choices about our wants and our needs, and we're, communicating needs in our relationships, then our relationships are going to improve. And then going off of that, also, we're going to have improved financial security when we're making better choices, distinguishing between our wants and our needs, because we're not going to be always giving into purchasing wants. We're only going to purchase our needs. And so this means we're going to be buying less. We're going to be spending less money. And this gives us more financial security, because we're going to have a savings. We're going to be able to say no. We're going to have more security in case something happens and we need that money for some kind of emergency. And all of this is also based on personal growth. So when we're making better choices, that we're improving our personal growth, we are growing and becoming something new and different and wonderful and just a better overall person, which leads into my last point, that there's going to be a positive impact on everybody around you. When you're making better choices for yourself and you're distinguishing between wants and needs, more so, people see that. And especially as parents, our children see this. And that's part of what we teach them, is how to make good choices and how the difference between wants and needs. And they're going to be positively impacted by financial security, by our overall well-being, by our relationships, and personal growth. They are going to see that, and they're going to be positively impacted by the choices that we're making. Our friends too, our partners, business partners, everybody around us, when we are growing and we're having personal growth and we are less stressed because we have better financial stability and our overall well-being is better, it improves everybody around you. Your circle is affected by that, just by your mood even. Okay, so your challenge is, are you a wants person or a needs person? Do you give into your wants a lot? Is this something you struggle with? If so, your challenge is this week, list out the difference between your wants and your needs for like all of your purchases. Really track the things I'm doing, the choices I'm making. Are they wants or they needs? Track them out this week. And then next week, look back at the end of this week, look back at your wants and your needs and see, am I giving in more to my wants, or am I actually taking care of my needs? And maybe there's some things that are questionable on there. Like you don't really know, is this a want or a need? Seek someone out and talk to them. It could be a friend. It could be your partner. It could be a coach. It could be a counselor of some sort. But seek that support. And yeah, let's move forward and make better choices. All right, guys, have a great Tuesday.